Okay, we're here today with Barbara Keane, who's a visitor to our Authors' Day, and I'd just like to ask Barbara why she's here and whether she's had any information about us before.
I've got a food blog running called cookingwithgranny.blogspot.com, and it's to do with DIY cooking, maximum nutrition for minimum effort. And I'm just interested in what 2QT has got to offer me today.
Have you approached any other publishers in the past, or have you done anything before you've come today in terms of seeking out other options for publishing your blog?
Yes, I have. I've talked sort of quite a few agents. I've been working my way through the Big Yellow Book, sort of working through just to sort of see what other people said and what they had in mind. A lot of people said it was a really, really good idea.
Is it self-publishing that you're interested in doing, or is it full publishing house?
I think it's probably full publishing house. I think you'd suggested an e-book.
I think the e-book is still a good idea, because when we talked about it last time, people bringing stuff down into the computers into the kitchen and using it as a sort of visual type of cookery book. And we've just got a distributor for the e-books, so that will help us to get the e-book out onto the likes of Waterstones and onto iTunes and places like that, where the people who your audience potentially are going to have access to the likes of Amazon Kindle and iTunes and people like that. So I think the e-book is still a really good option for you to go forward on.
Okay, that sounds most interesting. I'll look forward to hearing more about your business and about 2QT.
This is Margaret, and she's got a manuscript, or she's thinking about taking forward in some form or other, about what was southern Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe. And so I'm just speaking to Margaret about what is it she's looking for in terms of where would she like a book to go, what's your ideas?
As I say, it started off for the family, just so that they could have a record of what it was like to live in colonial Rhodesia, and the wonderful freedom and happy childhood and that sort of thing that no longer exists. And my brother, who lives in South Africa, said, it might have a wider appeal.
Right.
So I've written it, and I'm looking now to go forward, and I don't quite know how to do that.
Okay.
But I'd like to put photographs in, and I visited 3 years ago and found the destruction was absolutely heartbreaking. So that's added. I've added that onto the end of it.
And are you looking to go through a main publisher? Are you thinking about approaching a main publisher, or are you thinking about maybe publishing it yourself through somebody like us, or how are you thinking about it?
I did think of publishing it myself, because I didn't think I'd ever get somebody else to publish it. So I'm sort of open to suggestions. That's really why I'm here.
Right. Okay, thank you. I'm here with Frank English, who's published a book through us on the self-publishing route. And Frank is fantastic in terms of marketing his own book. But I just wanted to ask Frank what his experience was before he came to 2QT and how he came to find us.
I'd been writing for quite a long time and tried to go down the traditional publishing route. Found that traditional publishers, so-called, were not really open to the sort of things that unknowns like me wanted to do. I met with a lot of rejection, bemoaned the fact that in the area I live in, which is the Northwest, there was no publishing group that could actually do what I wanted them to do, until one day I noticed an advert in the local newspaper, Lancaster Guardian, for 2QT. I telephoned Catherine, and we got together, discussed matters, and really the rest is history. We've got together, and hopefully it'll be a firm partnership for a very long time.
Some of the things, Frank, in terms of marketing your books, maybe if you could give some tips and a bit of advice for other authors coming on, because, as everything, the publishers expect you to do a lot anyway. So is there any tips, maybe 2 or 3 tips that you can maybe give other authors in terms of marketing your own book, not necessarily online, but maybe other ones as well?
First and foremost, I think it's be confident in your product, be confident in what you've actually done. And never miss an opportunity to let other people know that it's actually there. Things like, for example, recently on holiday, I took a lot of bookmarks that I'd designed with the website, with the title, with what the book was about on holiday. Left them with a notice on the countertop in the foyer of the hotel, and literally within a week, all the 100 or so had gone. Never ever never go anywhere without a batch of your books in the car. Always have marketing possibilities, whether it be a press release or a flyer or a postcard or whatever that's going to publicise your book. Never be afraid to talk to people about it. Never be afraid to talk to people about it again and again and again. In other words, never give up. You've got a product there that you're convinced is a good one. You've got to convince other people that it's a good one too, because they're the ones who are going to buy it.
Just finally, Frank, how have you found today?
Very, very enjoyable, very instructive, and absolutely invaluable. And I wish more people would do this sort of thing.
Hi there, I'd just like to ask you how you found today.
I've had a very interesting time meeting so many different people, but most important, a gentleman, I overheard a conversation and he went to Hong Kong. And my story is about a cat who was found in Hong Kong, and he went sailing with us, my husband and I, for 10 years. I brought him back to England.
It's been a really lovely day, served loads of tea and coffee. The cake's gone down a treat, and all in all, it's been very successful.
I just want to say that I'm very proud of Mum and Rob, because it seems like today is such a success and it's nice to see lots of people. It's a good turnout.
Right, well, how have I found the day so far? I think it's extremely interesting. I think the concept of both possibly self-publishing and then moving over into publishing is a very important one, and I'm very impressed by the fact that they exercise some editorial judgment, and it's not just take your money and run. And I think that's very important, actually, if you are doing self-publishing. I know of a number of people who've had very bad experiences with self-publishing. I belong to, run the Warehouse Writers workshop at the Brewery Arts Centre in Kendal, and we have a blog with WordPress. So one of the reasons I'm here today is to take all this information back to our 20 or so members who might actually be interested in coming along and sounding out to QT for publishing.
Hi, I'm Sharon Newick from Najada Online Marketing, and Catherine invited us here today really to just have an opportunity to chat to any authors who wanted to learn a little bit about how they could market themselves on the internet. And it's been a fabulous afternoon. Chatted to some lovely people, some very creative people who want to get their work out, get more people interested in their writing, and had some super conversations with people about how they could do that. Yeah, and I think it's been a fabulous thing Catherine's done, actually, to pull lots of different people together, because I've been speaking to somebody who wants to take poetry, speaking poetry, so I introduced them, said they need to talk to Lee. And it's been quite nice to point people in different directions for different help they need from some of the experts that are here today. So I think it's been a really good idea, and I think people have appreciated it.